In 2025, there is a lot of headphones floating around the music industry. There's a lot of producer headphones, there's a lot of recording headphones, there's mixing headphones, there's live headphones, there's in-ears, there's just a lot of headphones that you have to kind of sort your way through, especially when you're figuring out which ones you want to get. So it's naturally a pretty good question to ask yourself, what headphones should I get? And perhaps more importantly, inside of that question is, what are you using these headphones for? I was in need of a new pair of headphones, and the kind people over at Noisegate sent me a pair to try, and I've kept them because I love them. And those headphones are, I'll tell you in a second. I'm Nick Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer based in Perth, Australia. I work with a lot of vocalists, so I'm recording them very, very often, multiple times a week. I've got millions of streams to my name and I've worked on hundreds of songs, so hopefully this is valuable to you. As I was saying, they sent me a pair of these. These are the TMA-2 Studio Wireless Plus headphones by AIAIAI. I don't know how to say that brand name. And so before I kind of give my little review about these headphones, what I want to say is this. I record singers, as I just said. Part of the problem for me and why I was looking at new headphones was I kept getting headphone creaking. Before I was using the Audio-Technica M50Xs, so these puppies. And honestly, great headphones. They sound really good, they're sturdy, they're very durable, they last a long time. But what I find, and I've had a couple pairs, when they get old, they start to do this. I hope you can hear that. Basically, it starts to creak. That can be quite problematic when you're trying to record vocals, especially when it's intimate and it's not the loudest backing track and you don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as kind of noise coverage. When you've got those little creaks, it's incredibly unideal. And you can obviously replace some parts of those headphones, like the leather parts, but if something breaks, you're kind of in trouble. These headphones don't creak at all. Well, I mean, if you move them a lot, I'm sure they creak, but when they're on your head, they don't creak very much. They're incredibly sturdy, which I love, like they just feel very solid. The ear cups are big, they really fit nicely on most singers' heads, and they're quite soft, which is really good. They also just sound really good, which is very handy. So the main reason for me was having a good pair of really sturdy, good sounding headphones that singers in my room could use and not getting any kind of creaking. And so far that has been the case. I've had these for about, 4 months now, and they've been fantastic. People comment on them, they're really good. So there's a lot of features of these headphones which I'll talk about. The most exciting for me is the fact that it's modular, and that's kind of a large part of AIAIAI, I can't even say that, is the branding is that these are modular. So basically all of these parts kind of come undone. So that just means everything can come off. If something breaks, it's not a closed system such as a lot of other headphones. You can replace things, and they've got their whole website, so it's all really easy to change up. And you can just like pull it off and then unplug it, and that's my ear cup. I can then take the foam off, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've done this, but it's all incredibly easy to just kind of maneuver around, which is wonderful. And then back on just like that. I'm pretty fond of the idea of pieces of equipment, whether it's in the music world or just any kind of world, things that you can fix. That's great, because it's really frustrating when you use something and then at some point in time you have to spend another $300 or $400 to get a replacement. I would much rather just be able to spend $40 or $50 or however much the headphones cost, the replacement parts. So that's sick. The second big feature about these headphones is their wireless nature. So when you get the headphones, they come with this little wireless transmitter pack. It's got the 1/4-inch jack that you'd plug into your headphone outlet or your headphone amp. This turns on, and then you connect the headphones wirelessly to it. So basically, you can record yourself using wireless headphones in practically zero latency. I'll read the box. It says W+ link, which is this thing, ultra low latency, 16 milliseconds, uncompressed audio, 1600 kilobytes per second. So it's high quality, low latency music. It's got a robust stable connection, 12 meter range, and 15-hour playback. These are also Bluetooth, so you can connect to your phone. That's got an 80-hour playback, which is awesome. So it's a super versatile unit. I'll do a quick B-roll of some parts of this. Basically on the underside, on one of the sides of the actual headphone, you've got a little switch, which will change it from Bluetooth mode to the W-Link mode. Or if you would prefer, you can just connect it by cable. Who is the wireless connection for? So it does sound really good, and I've really enjoyed playing around, especially when I'm playing like bass or guitar, and I can kind of move around the room whilst I'm playing and just kind of jam out. That is awesome. What I have found is if you're a vocalist, using the wireless, even if it's a 16 millisecond latency point, it does feel kind of weird. I guess like vocals, you have a direct feedback. You make the noise and you can hear it in your head. So when you have even the slightest little tiny delay, it is like you catch it and it feels kind of like, whoa. I did find it was kind of weird for that, but for other instruments that aren't as, direct feedback like that, I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun just kind of playing bass and sitting on the couch whilst I was recording. It's definitely quite a liberating feeling. I think if you're using this just to record vocals and you purely just want wireless, like you can try it. It might not be for you. When I'm recording singers, it's wired. I think if you're a DJ or someone in that kind of like electronic music world, these would be incredibly good, especially if you're on stage and you don't want to get tangled up in wires. That'd be awesome. Also from a content creating perspective, if you've got multiple stations and your camera's set up and then you can kind of just like move around whilst you play different things, sick. As far as Bluetooth audio goes, I thought it sounded good. I did notice a little bit of noise at times, but there's kind of gain staging that you can do. I don't use these as my primary listening. I use AirPods just because I think like a lot of people have AirPods, so take that as you want. So who are these for? As I said, I think if you're recording vocals and you want wired, amazing. If you're an instrumentalist and you want wired and wireless, awesome. If you're a DJ or electronic artist, also incredible. I don't use these to mix, so I can't really comment on them. I use VSX to mix all my speakers because like, in the mixing world, I'm just comfortable with a few things. Like they sound really good. They're really good sounding headphones. I just haven't tried them for that yet because I would need to adjust to them. I'm definitely sure you could. They sound very clear, especially when they're plugged in. They sound very, very solid. I think if you're in a similar position to me where you work with other people and you need a pair of non-creaky headphones that you can also replace parts for, these would be fantastic. I'm very happy with these. I think they just feel great. Like they're sturdy. There's something nice about a solid pair of headphones that I just, feel like I'm holding something. And just very comfy on my ears. So if I connect, I'm just going to put this into perspective. If I just hold this little button here. So white mode on the headphone is the W-Link, blue is Bluetooth. So right now it's on that. I'm just going to plug this into my headphone amp. I accidentally plugged it into the wrong side of the headphone, but yeah, it sounds good. There is a little latency when I'm talking, but yeah, feels cool. I can just like walk to the other side of the room and I can hear everything. How cool. And so the one thing that I would note is it's got 2 different points of gain. So it's got a headphone level gain, which is just the buttons on the top. And you can turn those up or down, and then there's a connection button. And I think you can also assign different things. And then you've also got your gain that you're coming out of your actual like interface with the headphone amp. You just kind of need to find a balance between the two where you're not getting much noise, as of right now, I'm not getting too much noise, but it's like loud enough on both ends. So yeah, once again, thank you so much NoiseGate, really appreciate these. They're fantastic and I use them a lot. If you want to check them out, there's a link below. I really recommend them, especially, as I've said again, for those kind of purposes. I've been using them, I've been enjoying them, and all of the artists I've been working with have also been enjoying them. So I hope that's a good enough recommendation. I'll catch you next video. If you found this helpful, hit like and hit subscribe. If you use Studio One, check out the free presets below. Goodbye.